Hi friends, in the last session we discussed that fundamental data types versus immutability, and we observed that how many ways we can execute a Python program, or we can say problem with the Python shell, right? So now we are going to discuss about typecasting functions. Okay, so normally in the data types concept, we observe that first five are fundamental data types. Those are what? Int, float, complex, boolean, string. Okay. Now today our focus is on typecasting. Okay. Our focus is on typecasting. Normally typecasting is nothing but convert we can convert one type to another type. Okay, we can convert one type to another type is nothing but typecasting or type coercion. Okay, typecasting or type coercion. Clear? Now, so on which data types we are performing now typecasting? So we can do typecasting for all the data types. So first mainly I'm focusing on the fundamental data types. Okay, one. So first what are these? int int float, complex, boolean, and string. Okay, so now we are going to convert each and every data type to remaining data types. Okay, simply I will show you the diagram. Okay, suppose assume this is one and this is one. Okay, okay, no. int float, complex, boolean, and string str. Okay, now we are going to learn each and every data type. Okay, okay, in the same way here also int float, complex, boolean, string. Okay, so now int can convert to int. Okay, int can convert to float. Okay, int converting to complex. So int converting to boolean. Okay, int converting to string. So first observe int converting to float. So whether it is possible or it will give any error, observe first. Okay, first what I am doing, in so I am taking a is equal to int of, so int, this is the function to convert any value to int. Okay, int of 10 I'm taking. Okay, int 10 I'm taking, and I'm going to take print of a. Now observe here whether it is possible or not. So 10, so happily we can convert int to int. Okay, we can convert int to int. Wait, okay, let me execute here better. A equal to 10 int of a. Okay, so happily we can convert int values to int. Now I'm taking int of, what is the next one here? It is okay. Mm. Okay, int can convert to int. Okay, now int converting to float. Okay, so how we can convert int to float means just now I'm doing nothing here, and 123.977. Okay, 123.977 I'm taking. So observe here. So now float is converting to int. So happily we can convert the float also. Now observe whether uh, complex. So observe for the complex, int of 10 plus 5j. Okay, int of 10 plus 5j. Okay, if you observe here, type error int argument must be string. By convert something, it is giving error, right? Type error can't convert complex to int. Okay, so we can say type error int argument must be string. Okay, it is expecting in the form of string, but something you are given, it is giving error. Clear? So next, so here we can say that complex is not possible. Okay, now observe for the boolean. Okay, int I'm taking true. So in this case we are going to get as 1, because I told you in the previous session true internally represented as 1. Okay, observe int true means 1. So if I'm taking false means we are going to get 0. Clear? Next, I'm taking, so now we can say boolean also, it is fine, right? Now next is int converting to string. Okay, int converting into string means suppose I'm taking 10. Okay, int of 10 I'm taking. So in this case, happily we can convert. Happily we can convert. String is converting int, but if I'm going to take int of 10, so observe carefully. Value error, invalid literal int with the base 10. Okay. Now observe here one point actually. Complex and string, it is not possible. We are getting type error and value error. Anyway, complex we cannot convert into int. In the float also it is not possible. But with respect to string is converting to int means, see here I'm giving in the form of 10 integer number, I'm giving in the form of string. Okay, that time it is converting into 10 because it is a original integer, but this is the character, so that's why in this case it is giving the error. Okay, so we cannot convert string characters into integer. Okay, so if you observe, if I'm giving binary value 0 b binary, okay, in this case also we are going to get error. Okay, clear, right? In how many ways we can convert? Almost all case we observe right now. For your reference, I'm pasting here. Next, next our target is we can convert from any type to int except complex type. Okay, we can convert any type to complex type, except sorry, any convert any type to int except complex type. Okay, except a complex type. If you want to convert the string to int, okay, in the second point, if we want to convert int string to int, sorry, string to int, okay, string to int, compulsory str should be contain only integral and specified in base 10 form. Okay, base 10 form means in this way. Okay, if you are converting string to int, that internal string should contain integral value and should be specified in the form of base 10. Okay, by mistake if you are giving any other, we are going to get error. Clear? Next next focus is float. Okay, next concept is float. So now we observed all the cases for int, right? So now our focus is on int, sorry, float. Float means float converting to int. Okay, float converting to int, float converting to float. Okay, float converting to complex. Okay, float converting into boolean, float converting into string. Okay, now observe here, I'm going to try for all. Okay, first float converting to int, sorry, int converting to float. I told you reverse, right? Float of 10. Okay, I'm converting int to float. Okay, I'm giving 10 only, but now it is going to convert into float. Okay, final result will be 10.0. I'm converting float to float. Okay, converting float to float means there is no any difference. Whatever the value will give, the same thing you are going to get. Now the next focus is float converting to complex. So float 3 plus 6j. Okay, anyway in int we observed error, for float also we are going to get same error. Okay, next float converting to, sorry, boolean converting to float. Okay, I'm taking true. Okay, I'm converting boolean to float means we know already true represented as 1. So converting 1 to float means 1.0. So if I'm taking false means, we are going to get 0.0. Clear, right? Next now how many we completed? Int, float, complex, boolean, and the last one is string. See, observe the difference between it and the float. Float of 10 I'm giving. Okay, float of 10 I'm giving. Okay, now it is giving perfect. I'm giving 10.5. Okay, so now also we are getting value. Okay, float convert string, internal string, it is having float, that is converting to float, it is possible. Internal string, it is containing int, it is converting to float, there is no issue. And if I'm trying to convert float, I mean string, internal characters to float means we are going to get error. Okay, six. Okay, could not convert string to float 6. Okay, if I am going to give binary number, we are going to get same, right? So the conclusion we can say that we can convert any type to float type except complex. Okay, and whenever we are trying to convert a string to float, compulsory string should contain integral or floating point literal and should be specified in the form of base 10. Okay, the same points for here also. Okay, if we want, you can convert any type to float except complex type. If you want to convert a string to float compulsory string should be contain string should contain float or integral integral integral. Okay, and should integral if integral is integral should be specified. Okay, if integral should be specified in base 10, then it is fine. Okay, base 10, then it is fine. If you want to convert string to float, compulsory string should contain float or integral, and if integral should be specified in base 10 format, then it is fine. Otherwise we are going to get error. Otherwise we are going to get error. Clear? Next, complex data type. So we can use complex function to convert other types to complex type. We can use complex function to convert other types to complex type. Okay, so in this case, first case I'm giving, we discussed already, real part and imaginary part is there, right? So first I'm taking form 1. Okay, form 1 I'm taking complex of x. Complex of x means we can use this function convert x into complex number with the real part and x imaginary part is 0. Okay, here what happening is x is real part and imaginary part is 0. Okay, imaginary part is 0. So how it is means, observe here, I'm going to give all the values. Okay, next, see, first I'm giving complex of 10. Complex of 10 I'm giving. So 10 is the real part, 0 is the imaginary part. So now we are going to get 10 plus 0j. Okay, now if I'm giving int converting to complex, so don't forget the terminology. I'm converting int to complex. Okay, now next I'm giving 10.5 to complex. Okay, 10.5 to complex, all possible. Next, what I am giving, complex of true. Okay, I told you already, true represents 1. Okay, 1 plus 0 j. Okay, if I take false means 0 plus 0 j. So final result will be 0 j. Okay, next what I am going to give is string. I am giving string. What is the string means? 10 plus 10 plus, okay, 10 on internal string. I am giving only 10. Okay, 10 plus 0 j. Okay, internal string only integer converting to complex. Okay, now next what I am going to give 10.5. Okay, string contains floating that is converting to complex. So in this case also we are getting 10.5 plus 0 j. But if I am going to give 10, will it accept or not? So make sure it will not accept. It is going to give error. Okay, what error? Value error. Complex arg is a malformed string. Okay, complex argument is a malformed string. Almost all we can convert all data types to all other types to complex data type if the complex is having string internal characters are alphabets, so then we are going to get error. Okay, so third concept is, let me copy paste here total. Here we can convert other all other types to, we can convert all other types to complex, 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 and there is no issue. Okay, there is no issue. But if we are converting string to complex, must and should provide int and float value. Okay, need to specify in base 10 form. Okay, if you are giving in another way, then it is going to give error. Clear? So this is what we are discussing for the first three. Okay, we discussed that int, float, complex, right? Int, float, complex, and in the complex we discussed that part 1. Okay, we discussed that part 1. So in the next session we are going to discuss complex form 2. Okay, here I am taking real part with in the next session real part plus imaginary part, and we are going to discuss about boolean and string. Okay, please subscribe to my channel if you are watching for the first time. Okay, thanks for watching the video.